Okay, so we are now about to give out some very deserved awards. This is something we have done, I think it's the 7th year we're doing this now. And we give out a Lifetime Achievement in Autoethnography Award. And then we also have a Dissertation Award. So, okay, then I give the word to you, Knut, and I come back after you again. So, yep.
Thank you. And this is my second attempt. This year's award winner has authored a thesis titled Make Welcome an Autoethnography of Queering Experience Design Practice. In it, you're right, I only allowed my supervisors Jean and Stacy to read these words. I've only been able to write my thesis knowing that I can embargo this text and you might never read it. You characterize yourself as shy and secretive, and according to what you wrote to me in an email, I'm the 6th person to read this thesis. I take this opportunity then to recite other people's work, and not often have I come across the Norwegian poet Olav H. Hauge reading autoethnography, but I did in this thesis. There's a poem which is central to the thesis, and it's called It's the Dream. Den drømmen in Norwegian. And we discussed this in another session, and listening to the poet read it is really nice in Norwegian. It's a dream we carry in secret, that something miraculous will happen, that it must happen, that time will open, that the heart will open, that doors will open, that the mountains will open, that springs will gush, that the dream will open, that one morning we will glide into some little harbor didn't know was there. My wish is that you consider this session, this conference in Bristol, as something like that harbor. And in your thesis, you state that your work aims to highlight welcome as a design experience, theorize welcome as significant, and contribute to the limited body of practice-based research and experience design. And I enjoy how the somewhat mundane and everyday life is explored through the lenses of queer autoethnography. Jesus, that was difficult at this hour. Ahmed, Butler, Dewey, Ingold, Nancy, Derrida, just to mention a few. And you have actively participated in and presented at over 100 conferences, workshops, masterclasses, and professional development across design, higher education, and queer research, both in person and virtually, along with live action role-playing, neo-shamanism, and your numerous notebooks. This comprises a woven mat of time and yours positionality. You also write that, even with the best intentions, design perpetuates injustice, oppression, and harm in the system meant to prevent them. Nowhere is this more evident than in higher education, where students' experience has become a commodity, raising urgent ethical questions about what students are genuinely buying and what universities are selling when their experience is a product. I'll try to keep this in mind when welcoming new master students come August. As you state, the human mind makes connections based on associations rather than following a strict linear sequence. And I could go on for a long while, but we don't have time. So I suggest we give a big hand to Victoria Firth Smith, who's come over from Tasmania, Australia, to receive this acknowledgement of her work. Congratulations. A hug? No. Well, we give a hug. Thank you. And like promised, there's no money, but there is ceramics.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah,
Thank you so much.
congratulations.
I appreciate
it's so
that.
nice that you swung around and just compare?
Oh, it was only 2 weeks ago, and it was actually an email to sort of my spam account, and so I thought this is a hoax. And so I'm very moved and very grateful for Jean and Stacey, my supervisors, and for all the writers and readers who have come before us. It's an incredibly intimate and personal document, so thank you for reading it. And may I one day be brave enough to share it with all of you. Thank you.
There are more awards to come, so okay. Once again, I have been given the honor of awarding the ICAE Lifetime Contribution in Art Ethnography Award. And this is the 7th time we present this award, which we give to recognize, honor, and pay tribute to people who have made significant contributions to the development and nurturing of the field of art ethnography, a scholarship and a way of life, and who have supported others in doing so. And I shall soon reveal the recipient of the 2026 award. But first, I would like to share a few reflections on this year's conference theme, connections. We all strive for connections with other human beings, with places, with other species, with ourselves, our histories, our cultures, and our presence in the world. We want to connect. Without connections, we are lonely and we are lost. So what is it that connects us? A week ago, a little more now, I was part of the audience at a local Norwegian venue, watching Norway play Brazil in the FIFA World Cup. This was before we played England, okay? Yes. I'm not a great football enthusiast, but Norway playing in the World Cup is a huge, huge thing. Not to the world, but certainly to Norwegians, as it has been 28 years since the last time Norway managed to qualify. The team's success has generated a collective sense of togetherness, of being connected to one another, to a country, and to a shared history and culture. So, there I was, in the midst of a crowd. A young boy, aged maybe around 12, sat next to me. We were strangers, and we never spoke. But as Norway's striker scored a second and decisive goal just before the end of the match, and it became apparent that Norway was actually going to win, the entire room exploded in joy. Loud, wild, collective joy. A shared sense of Norwegianness, whatever that may be. The young boy did not share. He remained still. A quiet smile lit up his face, while tears ran silently down his cheeks. I looked at him, and I felt my own eyes fill with tears. Joy can have many facets and expressions. The big, shared and roaring one, or the silent, personal, yet deeply felt. Sometimes connection comes as a great wave that sweeps us along. At other times, it is found in the silent ripples spreading across still water. Connections can be made and felt in small moments, moments that allow for hearts and souls to meet for being with and feeling with one another. Connections can sometimes emerge through the ineffable, through that which we struggle to put into words. But connections, whether small or large, personal or collective, also require community. They need shared and safe spaces that can accommodate togetherness and diversity. This year's recipient lives and nurtures connections through her ways of being in the world and being with others. With courage, creativity, playfulness, and a deeply respectful openness, she invites others to express and embrace subjectivity as valid knowledge. She has helped us see that subjectivity, evocativeness, and creativity are, in fact, superpowers, not to be suppressed, but that should be cheered for and refined as forms of game-changing knowledge. Knowledge that moves, challenges, transforms, and connects people. Knowledge that acts in the world. She is also someone who has contributed substantially to developing and supporting communities that serve as safe spaces where qualitative inquiry, autoethnographic scholarship, and art-based work can flourish. She's a true community builder, always generous in sharing and willing to include others. For more than 2 decades, this year's award recipient has been a pioneering voice in the development of autoethnography, not only as methodological, theoretical, creative, and ethical practice, but also as shared practices of solidarity and justice. She constantly reminds us that behind the evocative, behind the tears and laughter, behind innovative performances and compelling stories, knowledge is always also political. She fiercely and tirelessly challenges conventional boundaries between art and scholarship, theory and practice, the personal and the political. As co-editor and co-author of numerous scientific articles and landmark works, such as Handbook of Autoethnography, and Queering Autoethnography, she has helped define and reimagine the field of autoethnography for generations of researchers across disciplines and across the world. Her scholarship has inspired and continues to inspire us to write more courageously, think more critically, and engage more deeply with the ethical responsibilities of storytelling and representations. She has shown how research can create spaces for marginalized and silenced voices, nurture community and connections, and contribute to social justice. Her work reminds us that scholarship is never merely about describing and understanding the world. It is also about challenging it and contributing to more human ways of living within it and with each other. More than ever, the world needs her kind of courage, sensitivity, playfulness, and the connections that these qualities make possible. So, for creating and supporting collective waves that build movements, communities, and fields of inquiry, for being attentive to and supporting the quieter ripples that touch and affect the lives of others, for her extraordinary contribution to autoethnography and qualitative inquiry, for her enduring commitment to research as a practice of humanity, connections, justice, imagination, and hope. It is a great honor to present the ICAE Lifetime Contribution in Autoethnography Award 2026 to Stacey Holman Jones.
Hi, everyone. Thank you, Trude, and thanks to the committee. What an amazing honor this is, and what a surprise. It's a little hard to believe that someone like me has gotten to the point in my life where I have a lifetime achievement anything, but so it's really quite humbling. And the thing I really want to share with everyone there, some of you I know well, some of you I know a little bit, some of you I haven't met yet, is I was really moved to hear about the collaborative and community spirit of certainly my work, but I think it's just part of what it means to be an autoethnographer and to be part of this research community. My master's supervisor was Nick Trujillo, and he, along with some others, taught me that autoethnography is a way of life. And when I went to work and collaborate with Art Bachner and Carolyn Ellis, they showed me how being an autoethnographer is a commitment to sharing not only your life with the world in your written work, but joining a community and making really a promise and a pledge to always be available and there to support people who want to do autoethnography. And certainly Art, Carolyn, Nick, Buddy Goodall, Norman Denzin really paved the way for us to do the work that we're able to do today with support and recognition and understanding. It wasn't always so. It was a very challenging period to try and convince folks that autoethnography was scholarship, that it was rigorous, that it was deeply relational, and we shouldn't take that for granted. And so we sort of swear an oath to be supportive colleagues and listeners and mentors to autoethnographers. And that's not only me. Those are my beautiful colleagues who are there with you at the conference, Katrina and David, Ken, Gail and Jonathan Wyatt, Marcelo and Claudio, Dominique and Darrell, and folks who aren't there, Tony Adams, Tammy Spry, Craig Gingrich Philbrook. These are my contemporaries. Bryant Keith Alexander, Devika Chawla, Robin Boylorn, Lisa Lockford, Elise Pinot, Alyssa Foster, Lisa Tillman, Fatoyi Yusefo, Joshua Yusefo, Esther Fitzpatrick, my fellow Australians, Liz McKinlay and Suzanne Gannon, and of course my wonderful partner, Dan Harris, who I've had the pleasure and privilege of working with across a long swath of years and many more to come. So I'm sorry I can't be there with you, but I am there in spirit, and I just wish you all the best and power on, autoethnographers. I can't think of a time in history when we didn't need this work more. It's more urgent, it's more human and necessary than ever. And so go out there and change the world one autoethnography at a time. And thanks again to the committee for this wonderful honor.
And